Bespoke miscellaneous charts, tally chart. And this is what it looks like. As you can see, as you progress through this course, you could probably guess how this is created. We are going to create several lines using a data model that we would import. We would also, every fifth line, we'll try to make it slash across so that it looks like we're actually tallying. Again, this is purely for fun, to get your creative juices flowing, but more importantly, to try something new, something different, and to try to push the boundaries of Tableau. So with that said and done, let's open up Tableau Desktop. So we are not going to load the sample superstore data source. Surprise, surprise, it's always good to have a change. What we are going to do is to create our own data set. So let's open up your spreadsheet editor. What I want us to do is type country and value. So with countries, let's type a few countries out. The United States, the United Kingdom, say Germany, France, Canada, India. Why not? Now let's assign some random values. Doesn't really matter what they are. This is solely random. So this will comprise of our main data set. Now we are going to create our model, which would have path and position. We are going to have 0, 100, 0, and 100. In position, we will have 1, 1, minus 1, minus 1. Now take a moment, pause the screen, and create this data source, and then let's get back to the tutorial. Okay, so with the data set, I want us to now copy. So select and copy a data set, go into Tableau, and just paste right here. For Windows, it's Control C, then Control V. As you can see, this data has now come to Tableau. However, we need to apply the model. So let's clear the screen for now. Let's right click on our data source and click Edit Data Source. Let's double click the logical table. Now I want us to copy our model and paste this in. So essentially we're copying in two tables and we are going to join them together. We are going to have our countries and our value as well as our actual model. When you are prompted to create a join, click on Create Join Calculation and just enter in 1. And do the same for the other side to create a Cartesian product. Now let's rename model, data. Let's rename this as well. Data source. Data source. Now, this is what it currently looks like. We have data and we have a model. We don't have too many fields at the moment, but that's okay. But what I want to do is right click on path and create a bin. So right click on path, go to create, select bins and enter in 1. Because we are going to be using data densification, let's create a wrapper for the values. So let's call it TC value, window, max, value. Since there's only one record, we don't really want to sum because we're doing data densification and we're multiplying the records. But max should work for our purposes. Let's click OK. Now we are going to create a slightly modified index. We are going to type if index is less than or equal to TC value, then index else, null, and end. So we're doing a test. If the index number is less than or equal to value, then keep it going, else blank it out. Let's click OK. And with this said and done, we are very close to building out our data visualization. So let's give this a try. Let's take index first, drop it onto columns. Let's take country, drop it onto rows. Let's take position and drop that into rows as well. Right click and convert to a dimension. You can see we've got a line already, that's looking pretty good. Now I want us to take our path bin, drop it to the left of country, right click, ensure that show missing values is selected, and then I just want to drag this onto the detail tab. I want to right click on index, go to compute using, and select path bin. You can see already this is looking pretty good. And you can see we now have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the last step to make our tally chart work, because right now we do have tallies, however we need to modify the 5th line so that it goes all the way across. So that's what we're going to do now, is that we're going to have a little bit of fun. So let's leave index as it is for now. I'm going to create a new calculated field. Let's call this X. We are going to say if index modulo 5 is equal to 0, i.e. every 5th line, and TC, I forgot to create a TC position. So let's create a TC position first, just as a wrapper for our position. Window, max, position. Let's just do that first, okay? Because remember, we want the position to be accessible everywhere. Now we can create an X. And we are going to say if index modulo 5 is equal to 0, i.e. every 5th item, and DC position is equal to -1, then what are we going to do? We are going to say index minus 4.3. We're going to send it slightly back. Else, if index modulo 5 is equal to 0 and DC position is equal to 1, then we're going to say index minus 0.7. Else, index. Now, we've created the X. Let's bring it in and see what it looks like. Let's bring it in next to the index. I want us to right click, go to compute using, and select path bin. As you can see, what we've done is that we've manipulated the value, because remember, -1 at the bottom, 1 at the top. We've created a calculation so that we create the line that goes through. Now we can remove index. We can hide the null. So let's just filter that data out. What we can do now is start formatting, so we can actually remove the headers. We can remove the following, hide field labels, because we don't need to see that. What I also want us to do is make the lines black, give it a little bit of opacity, and let's increase the size a little. Let's reduce the opacity a bit more to 75% and see what it looks like. How about 50? So you can see we've created this effect now. Lastly, we just need to format, remove our grid lines, remove our zero lines. Let's go to format borders and remove our column dividers. And now let's increase the font of the country themselves. And let's rename our sheet to tally chart. And here we have it. We've created a very quick and simple tally chart using data that we prepared in a spreadsheet using a model that we also prepared in a spreadsheet, and we connected both together. And this is the effect that we have. I know it's pretty neat, it's pretty rudimentary, but it's so simple, so effective, and I've seen this used to amazing effect in some Tableau public visualizations. So definitely give this one a try, and hope to see you in the next lesson.